Hi, good day everyone. Today, let's talk about how to disassemble and assemble a system unit. Disassembling the system unit. Now, before disassembling the system unit, you must de-energize all elements first. Turn off the power supply and pull out the plug from socket. Now, remove the remaining external devices like keyboard, mouse, monitor, printer, or scanner from the back of system unit. Before we open our case, first thing we're gonna do is get ourselves static safe. Use an anti-static strap. Just connect the strap on a metal part of your system unit case to your wrist. Now, let's open our system unit case. Then, let's remove the CMOS battery from the motherboard. Then, remove the PCI Express connector from the power supply and graphics card. Remove the graphics card from the PCI Express expansion slot. Now, let's remove the CPU cooler. Then, remove the motherboard power connector and CPU power connector. Remove the SATA connector from SSD and remove also the SATA power connector. Now, remove the USB connector from the motherboard. Then, remove the two system unit fans. Remove the SSD from the case. Then carefully remove the RAM from the motherboard. These are DIFM type, so we just press the plastic tab away from the socket and carefully remove the RAM. Remove the CPU chip by removing the latch holding the processor, and lift the retaining piece out of the way. Lift the processor chip straight out of the socket. Hold it by its edges. Remember, place the CPU in a safe location. Then, remove the front panel pin connectors. Then, remove the motherboard and the I/O shield. And last, let's remove the power supply. Assembling a system unit. Now, let's assemble our system unit. But before that, let's get ourselves static safe first. Now, let's put our power supply. The power supply is needed to supply the computer units with electrical energy. This power supply is 650 watts. Make sure you put the screws tightly. Now, let's get our I/O shield and put our motherboard in the system unit case. The motherboard is the main system board that provides the ability to communicate and transfer data between computer components. Then carefully connect the front panel connector. Make sure you connect the right label of each connector. Then put the CPU to the motherboard. Lift the retaining piece out of the way, then careful put the CPU chip. The CPU or Central Processing Unit performs complex calculations and executes machine's instructions. This CPU is 3.5 GHz and has 4 cores or threads. Then put back the retaining piece and lock. Now, let's put our RAM. This is an 8 GB RAM. To put the RAM, just press the plastic tab away, then put the RAM carefully. Then, put our SSD. This SSD is 500 GB. Make sure you put the screws tightly. Then, let's put our two system unit fan. Make sure you connect the connector of the fan to the motherboard. Make sure you put the screws tightly. Then, connect the USB connector to the motherboard. Then, connect the SATA power connector to the power supply and SSD. And also connect the SATA connector to the motherboard and SSD. Then, connect the CPU power connector to the motherboard and power supply. And also connect the motherboard power connector. Now, let's put our CPU cooler fan and connect the connector to the motherboard. Then, let's get our graphics card and connect it to the PCI Express expansion slot. Then, connect the PCI Express power connector to the power supply and graphics card. And then, let's put the CMOS battery. Then, let's connect all external devices. Then, connect the power plug to the socket and turn the system unit on. So, that's how to disassemble and assemble the system unit. Hope you learned it by watching this video. By the way, this is Albert Tan of DICT1. Thank you for watching.